Today, let's chat about something that shapes how we see the world, our need for control, especially after going through tough times. When we've experienced trauma, it's natural to build up barriers. Our ego, how we see ourselves, our defensive and protective behaviors, they all come from moments when we felt powerless. We become hypervigilant, always scanning for threats, always waiting for something to happen. We cope by creating rules and trying to make the world play by those rules. We do this to feel safe enough to participate. But here's the thing, real safety comes not from controlling everything, but from building close connections. Our nervous system is wired to relax when we're with people we trust. This is what psychologists call co-regulation. The learning from each other that the world isn't always a dangerous place. It is not easy and it takes time. Our minds might say, stay in control, manage every detail. But healing starts when we mindfully notice these patterns and gently negotiate with them. Through each little step, we expose ourselves to new situations. Maybe a trip to the shops, or a chat with a friend, or joining a social gathering. Each time, we teach our nervous system that it's okay, that not every interaction is a threat. Growth means embracing a bit of discomfort. It's normal to feel awkward or uneasy. But by using these everyday moments as practice, we gradually rebuild trust in ourselves and in others. Over time, our anxiety fades, and we start to form genuine, supportive connections. So remember, you're not alone on this journey. Healing takes time and courage, but with mindful awareness and a willingness to try. All of us can move out of survival mode and towards a life of connection and healing. All we need is safe connections, understanding and belonging.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening all, it's Bear here. And in today's video, we're still carrying forward with the persona and the person we have created, that is who we are, our ego. The representation of our internal self and how we engage with the world around us. And as I said in previous videos, the reason this is important is we need to have close connections on a daily basis for our nervous system to feel safe, to recognize that we have support, to be able to start to step out of survival and the need for the hypervigilance we have for threat. If we have a close-knit group of people around us regularly, we trust that they are watching our back as we are watching theirs, and our hypervigilance reduces. And this is what we need to happen so that we can start to negotiate with our survival state to build a path out. Now, in today's video, a lot of it's going to revolve around how we control our need for the world to play by our rules so that we can manage, we can cope, or we can feel safe enough to do the things we choose to do in a day, our daily tasks or our daily interactions. But the reality is the world is not something we can control. And this is what drives our hypervigilance. This is what drives our need for the filters and the barriers that we put up that block the closeness that we need to feel safe. This is why when we understand what we are doing, we can start to work with it, negotiate with it, to lessen the severity of the walls we put up, of the way we block people getting into our circle, or people bringing up ideas or new ways of thinking into our mindset. Why do we need to control? Well, trauma is when we're out of control. We have no control. We were unable to stop what was happening, whether it's a single event, whether it was multiple and complex multiple type. So control is at the very core of our survival. It is one of the core driving forces behind all our filters, all our layers of protection, and all our interpretations, as well as the threat mechanisms and responses to daily interactions. So understanding how we need to control and why we need to control and the ways, our own unique ways that we control, I find is very useful in helping us to negotiate with our survival state, to build the closeness and the connections, to be able to get the safe that we need to start to come out of survival. There's a lot to this. Control has so many layers to it and so many reasons to it. And with a survival-driven response, control is not something that can be made to go away. Control needs to be understood so that we can alter how we interpret things, how we have categorized things, and put them in tiers of potential threat. We need to start to bring back the way infants and young children do in a safe, secure attachment, in a safe, secure family, when they're starting to explore the world around them, work out what is dangerous and what isn't, what is going to burn me, what isn't, what is going to bite me, what isn't, what can I climb down, what can I fall down without injuring myself. All these facets that we learn in the very early stages of our lives, that mechanism trauma took from us, and we need to start to bring it back. And we can only do that through meaningful exploration in the world around us. But we also need to be mindful that because of our trigger responses, it is going to be a lot more challenging than an infant and a toddler and a child exploring their world, because we now have the cognitive part of our brain engaged. When we're little, the cognitive part of our brain isn't fully developed yet. It doesn't engage in a lot of the assessments and interpretations. That's why you see infants and toddlers, at the point of real danger, with being oblivious to it. So when we understand this, one of the greatest obstacles in the practitioner years that I see people do all the time is we have the need for the world to play by our rules for us to feel safe enough to be in it. If we're going to go over to somebody's place, it has to be structured in a specific way. We either control the conversations, we either hide in the corner. We all have our own way of coping and dealing with the way we engage in a social interaction. And that's what I want to explore a little bit today, because the reasons behind it are what we're going to negotiate with to change it. When we need co-regulation, and I use that term a lot in my videos, co-regulation is where we trust a person enough to where our nervous system learns from their nervous system what is threat and what isn't. It's the way we were designed. It's what happened when we were little children, when we were being held by our biological parents. It only works with biological parents and young children. This mechanism, if the nervous systems around me aren't on high alert, then I don't need to be, is basically in a nutshell what it is. And it helps for our nervous system to regulate and to drop some of the defensiveness, to start to bring back a more normal state of being, and only react and respond when the other nervous systems around us do. So we start to learn this process again to reduce our hypervigilance, to reduce the need to constantly remain in survival. And to do that, we need trust. And when we control our environment, when we understand the behaviors, we can start to work with them to show ourselves that in this situation, yes, I 100% need to back off because this situation is threatening. This person does not have my best interest at heart. This person is trying to manipulate me. This person is trying to harm me. If it is real, 100% back off. But also be open to our need to control the world, to play by our own rules. And when it doesn't, we respond that way. We interpret everything that way, that this person is just offering a perspective that is different to our own. And if we sit for a moment in that place of uncomfortableness and go, well, what is the actual threat? What is my nervous system responding to as threat? If we start to negotiate this way, we start to lower the need for threat, because conversation is not threatening. It's just words. It's what we choose to do with those words and how we choose to implement those words, interpret those words, is whether it is a threat or not. If it's a warning sign for threat in the future, recognize it. But the words themselves are not a threat. And if we start to work with this and negotiate with our hypervigilance and then negotiate with the way we defend ourselves, because we now understand what it is we're doing and why we're doing it, we can start to broaden the circle we have around us. We can start to teach our nervous system to respond to actual threat, not hypothetical threats, not potential way down the road threats, and not imagined threats because parts of our environment have triggered the memories associated with when we were in danger, when the bad things were happening. When we start to take the reins of the horse again, it's about learning, okay, I know I'm going to be uncomfortable in this situation. I do it all the time. I am about as socially awkward as you can get. I don't like social interactions, but I'm aware of it. So I'm aware when I'm in these situations, what I'm going to feel, why I'm going to feel it, and the way I'm going to respond. And if there are interactions that I need to have for information learning or whatever it is I'm choosing to engage in the world for, I negotiate with my threat responses so that I can participate to gain from the experience what I need to, what I went there for. And the goal is to teach the nervous system through those negotiations to be able to do it more often and more frequently, in teaching the skill sets to engage with the world in exactly the same way we learnt them when we were little. As I've said in numerous videos, that's how we're designed. And once we understand that, we can spend thousands of dollars in therapy situations and manufactured situations. But in reality, it's our day-to-day lives that are going to make the difference. Because we all need to go to shopping centers. We all need to go places in government buildings. We all have to engage with the outside world. And if we use those opportunities to negotiate with our survival state, to start to relearn how to engage with the world after what we've been through, to teach our nervous system to work with the gray areas and negotiate with the gray areas, the nuances, so that we can be more comfortable engaging with the world. We can start to gain more from it. We can also start to meet the people that can or may become part of our inner circle, should they choose to, and should it all unfold that way, for our nervous system to feel safe, to co-regulate, and to start to really heal from our traumatic experiences and start to come out of survival. We are designed biologically to be part of a social group. And in doing that, we need to relearn how to be part of a social group again. Not control it, not dictate to it, not manipulate it. Be part of it. I really hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with these videos. And as always, I love you guys' comments and feedback and support of the channel. Please be mindful, please be safe, and I will see you all next time. Hope.